You really don't want to downplay yourself. Like you can play yourself, and then there's like downplaying yourself, where like you really go pretty hard on making yourself out to be inferior to another person to make them feel better. Um, I knew somebody in high school, this girl, and long story short, she didn't like me. And I saw her at a restaurant with her family 15, 20 years later. And using my acting skills, I acted, may or may not have acted mildly retarded. Limped a little bit, mumbled to myself a little bit. Um, I wanted her to feel better, like somehow like she won because she has a family and, but really, I took one look at her and her family, and her 35-year-old husband dyed his beard, dyed his hair. She had lost her looks, and she had a 15-year-old son, a 14-year-old daughter, and another younger daughter. So she had kids early with who was a good-looking guy and is now dyeing his hair and beard. So I felt bad for her, so I downplayed myself and walked with a limp and acted mildly retarded. There was a man that I saw at 7-Eleven, and he was on break from his janitor job at the local middle school. And at the time, I was pretty active in comedy. And it was brought up. And he said, "Oh, yeah, me and my friends do that. We do it in Manchester. Why don't you come by and we'll show you how it's done?" And I knew who this individual was, and I knew that he had a child out of high school, and he was a janitor in this no-name town because he had a child out of high school and he had to pay child support, And I didn't have any kids, and I didn't have any debt, and I could pretty much focus full time on comedy. And that night I was taking the bus to New York City to do a show. So he wasn't necessarily going to show me anything new. Please, I said, "Oh yeah, that'd be great. I could learn a thing or two, But I really felt bad for him because he was a janitor and had a kid out of high school, And there were a lot of, stories like that. One of my sister's friends from my parents' neighborhood, when I was crashing on their couch, walked up the back staircase, and nobody does that. And nobody had done that since we were kids, because why wouldn't you just use the front door? But he did because it was, he felt he had it like that, as the kids say. And he's wearing this T-shirt of a bar, and he's talking to me about something that he has a grievance about. And I'm looking at his T-shirt, and I'm like, man, I know that bar. Long story short, the bar was his parents' basement. It was a novelty T-shirt of his parents' basement, and he was barking at me while wearing a novelty T-shirt of his parents' basement. And this was somebody, again, who had kids right out of high school and had to go work for his father and was a townie and walked around town wearing a novelty T-shirt of his father's basement. And if you catch my drift where this is going, oh, yeah, we'll go to so-and-so bar, have a drink. I'm buying, just downplaying myself. Where all of those people, I should have held my head high and told them to go fuck themselves if they had anything to say, in reality. Or the mature adult thing to do, get my coffee, get my burger, or just say I can't talk right now. But never downplay yourself. I'm sure there's a reason why we do that. We don't want to make the other feel bad about, our life being good, or we feel guilty about our life being good and their lives are such crap. And we don't want to, downplay. We want to downplay ourselves so they don't feel too bad about our lives being for all intents and purposes, better than theirs. But, maybe they have more money. Maybe they have the home life. Maybe they have the family life, the car, the truck, the dog, the cat, the rabbit. But that wasn't the case for me. And I sold myself out and downplayed myself. And so don't do that. It's not healthy. Stay healthy.